This is Ice Cream Gecko, and in today's video we're going to take a look at the Ben & Jerry's Netflix and Chill'd non-dairy ice cream. Peanut butter with sweet and salty pretzel swirls and brownie pieces. I've tried the regular Netflix and Chill'd ice cream before and I wasn't too big of a fan of it, but I saw this one right here, the non-dairy version, last week I think, on sale for €4.99. So I thought I might as well try it out when I get such a chance. Let's take a quick look at the very top of it right away. Let's change things up for once, I guess. More difficult than I expected. It is sticking to it quite well. Yeah, it looks a bit boring, but it looks alright. Filled all the way to the top. We will see if it's filled all the way to the bottom in just a second. Let's take a quick look at the ingredients list right here. Pause if you want to read that, pause if you want to read that, pause if you want to read it in French, and pause if you want to read it in Dutch, until we've got the nutrition table right there. 384 grams in 465 milliliters. Where are we going to cut this? I think we're going to do that right here. It seems like there is a bit of an air pocket again. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how long this knife is going to endure this abuse of its kind, but it's doing well so far. Let's take off the top because, yeah, it works better without it. And this is the inside. Now we've got quite a large air pocket right here. It's always funny, like people always say that Ben & Jerry's are the only ones that fill the ice cream up to the very top of it, to the seal that seals it from the outside, but it doesn't really, make sense to leave air at the bottom then. So the peanut butter with sweet and salty pretzel swirls ice cream, yeah, we can see that. We do not see many pieces. There could be many pieces in there, but all I see is a bit of grainy stuff, and the brownie pieces, those are a bit more obvious. Now, which one are we going to take a look at? We're going to take the left one because that has got the nutrition table and all that good stuff, and the other one is going back into the freezer. I'll be back with you in just a second. I am back at the desk, so let's take a closer look at this ice cream. Now, the ice cream base is made on an almond base, they say. You can see right here, it's not even close to being as creamy as regular ice cream, which is always a bit of a shame with these things. It feels different, yeah, very different. So, not the creaminess we want in premium ice cream. Let's keep in mind that this stuff right here usually costs about $7.99. So that's quite expensive, if I'm honest. Let's take a look if this tastes good though. Yeah, it hasn't got the creaminess, not on the spoon, not in your mouth, as regular ice cream does. But something I'm surprised about is that this doesn't taste as much of oats as the other almond-based ice creams from Ben & Jerry's, which was surprising when I first encountered that particular taste. But this tastes a lot more natural, a lot more like it should. I guess those pretzel pieces do their job quite well to mask that very dominant almond flavor. Something that is always a bit unfortunate with these almond-based ice creams is that they are quite watery. When they dissolve in your mouth, basically when they melt, they leave a bit of a watery texture in your mouth, not the creamy stuff from actual ice cream, which is always a bit of a bummer, I've got to say. Oddly enough, this right here, when it comes to the taste and the smell as well, this right here does remind me very much of baby puree, that grain baby puree, very similar to that. The texture of it in your mouth, well, baby puree is not ice cream, but the stuff when it's not like cold anymore, the texture then, and those grainy pieces themselves, the bit of wateriness, yeah, although the baby puree is a bit more creamy. The brownie piece that I just did a little bit of a tasty on was a bit weird though. It was quite mushy, quite wet, and not at all like I expect a brownie to be. Yeah, the same thing for the second one. not really brownie-like, at least when it comes to the brownies that I have had. More like an odd chocolate butter cookie, something like that. But it's too soft for that as well, and too squishy for that as well. Kind of a weird texture. I mean, taste-wise, it is okay, but yeah, it's not really what I expected at all. Anyway, I think we've tasted the individual components of this particular ice cream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off this half, and I'll be back with you in just a second. The consumption process is now complete, and we're ready to dive into the second half of this video. Now, I was asked to switch up some things in the later stages of the video, so I brought out my rating sheet. I simplified it a little bit so that I won't have to, explain the formulas behind it every time I put up this particular little sheet. So we're going to rate this together now. First impression was decent, but it was not great. Now the issue that I have is not the fact that this wasn't filled up to the top or looked bad or something, but the fact that Ben & Jerry's are known for filling everything to the very top, like saying that you get the best for your buck or something along those lines. Now this is a bit of a farce when you've got a huge air bubble at the very bottom of it, so I think that's a bit odd, and the only thing why you would actually want to do that is to keep an image up and, realize that people are never going to see that little air pocket at the very bottom when they eat it normally. Now I eat ice cream a bit differently, so we got to see that, which is something the average consumer doesn't. So yeah, always expect the worst of companies. That's what I do, that's the standard I live by, and I'm seldom disappointed. Usually mistakes in these companies do not happen too often. Color-wise, it was fine though. I've got nothing to complain about. Everything looked decent, nothing looked off color. The brownies, they were a bit lighter than I expected them to be, but yeah, color-wise, nothing to complain about. Consistency and texture, now that's a bit of a weird one. The base ice cream was better than I expected. It was a lot more dense than usual when it comes to these vegan ice creams, and the problem that I have with the overall product though are these brownie pieces. They are not at all like brownie pieces that I usually know in things. Usually you've got some kind of clay-like structure to them or consistency to them when they are that cold and completely engulfed in ice cream. But this one right here, it came awfully close to actual clay structure, much more than anything I ever had in ice cream when it comes to actual brownie pieces. Those are brownie pieces, right? I'm not talking, yeah, brownie pieces. I think that's what they meant by that. So yeah, I certainly cannot give full points in that. If the brownie pieces were fine, then I probably would, but like this, I can't really do that. Taste-wise, the brownie pieces, again, not too much of a thing overall, but the base ice cream was fine. I think it was actually better than the regular Netflix and Chilll'd ice cream from Ben & Jerry's, because there was less salt in here. It didn't taste nearly as salty as the other one, and those pretzel pieces, they weren't as much of a pain as they were in the normal one. Many people love the regular Netflix and Chilll'd ice cream. Maybe I got just a batch that was kind of off. Maybe someone was in love in the factory, but yeah, to me at the time when I tasted it, it wasn't so great. And this one right here was actually better. Overall, as an ice cream though, you still have that watery aftertaste with it. You do not get that creaminess, and this one right here, when I compare it to some other manufacturers who also make vegan ice cream, I think this really wasn't the greatest one over here, so I'm not willing to get close to the 5 points rating in that regard. Theme realization, that was fine though. They put everything in that they said they would, and that's what we pretty much tasted. Not everything was great, but yeah, that's to be expected with vegan ice creams overall, I guess. So on a scale from 1 to 10, this particular ice cream gets a 6.5. If you've got a question or a video suggestion, leave it in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more videos just like this one, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I'm going to see you soon. Until then, bye bye.